Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing okay considering the circumstances. A lot is kind of going on right now. Today, we are going to be talking about something that is inside all of us and is actually very important, and that is blood.
Blood!
What?
Blood!
We are going to be looking at the makeup of blood, the differences in blood, and bloodline/DNA. There's a lot of interesting information, so we're just going to get right into it. Every blood is made up of four main components: plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Plasma is a mixture of sugar, water, protein, and salt. It is the element that makes blood kind of thick and more liquidy. Red blood cells are the majority of the mixture, with 40 to 45% volume. The main function of this cell is to bring oxygen to organs within the body, so head to toe, there's blood circulating through you. It takes 45 seconds to circulate completely through the heart to the rest of the body. That's kind of weird to think about. White blood cells have the lowest percentage in the mixture and account for around 1%, but they are used to fight infection or illness. Lastly is platelets, which are small fragments of cells which help with clotting if you get cut. There are a lot of cells in blood, but these are the most important. Now moving on to blood types. There are four main blood types: A, B, AB, and O. What differentiates the blood is antigens.
A blood type refers to the presence or absence of a certain marker or antigen on the surface of a person's red blood cells. For example, in the ABO system, presence of A or B antigen gives type A or B, presence of both antigens gives type AB, while their absence gives type O.
With each four blood types, there are a positive and negative counterpart. So there's O positive, O negative, AB positive, AB negative, A positive, A negative, B positive, and B negative. There is other blood types other than these, like Rh null, which has none of these characteristics to them.
Interestingly, 99.9999994% of people in the world have blood with Rh antigens on their red blood cells. But, as the name implies, the Rh null blood type is completely missing these Rh blood group antigens, which makes it the rarest blood type in the world. Rh null blood was first found in 1961 in an Australian woman. Until then, doctors had assumed that an embryo missing all Rh blood cell antigens would not survive, let alone grow into a normal, thriving adult. But by 2010, nearly 5 decades later, some 43 people with Rh null blood had been reported worldwide.
But ABO and Rh are only a fraction of the 35 currently known blood group systems, many of which can cause serious reactions during transfusion if mismatched. Altogether, there are hundreds of antigens, giving rise to a gigantic number of possible blood types.
What makes blood positive or negative is the Rh factor. Rh stands for rhesus, like rhesus monkey, who is a common ancestor of humans. If you have the protein, then you are Rh positive, and if you don't have the protein, you are Rh negative. This was originally thought as D antigen. This was actually a huge discovery. It helped make strides for blood transfusions, which has now saved millions of lives.
The rule is simple. Patients should not be given antigens that their own blood does not have.
Knowing your blood type is actually really important. Every body needs something different. For example, O blood needs higher protein, and B blood should avoid gluten, and etc. Eating certain foods can help keep your body healthy. So homework, Google blood type diet. Very interesting. I'm not gonna go into that today. There's just so much. But yeah, do that. And even too, donating blood, especially at times like this, please donate blood. It's completely safe. So to transition a little bit, we are gonna talk about some fun facts. Yay. So in the United States, approximately 85% of the population has Rh positive blood, leaving only 15% with Rh negative blood. The only side effect of having a negative blood type is for women. If they get pregnant with a positive blood baby, their body will attack it. But aside from that, there's no complications really for having a negative blood type. Moving along, we're gonna be talking about kind of the developments in technology, genealogy, and other websites and resources like 23andMe and Ancestry. We are able to track our bloodlines. So if you have a positive blood type, you can be traced back to Africa 20 million years ago, while with negative blood types, you can only be traced back only so far, mostly to Europe, and it's only been traced back to 35,000 years ago.
So scientists have looked at this, obviously, and they looked back over 35,000 years to different tribes, and they think that they have been able to link the negative blood type to certain tribes. It's actually Europeans that have the greatest population of Rh negative blood, the most highly populated being Spain and France.
Most likely it is a mutation, but when you think about it a little bit more, and what I'm about to tell you, then there could be something kind of sketchy going on here. Negative blood types are considered rare, so there are bound to be theories surrounding them.
So when it comes to characteristics of the people that have Rh negative blood, they're said to be like slightly different, and they normally have a higher IQ, blue, green, or hazel eyes, reddish hair, empathetic qualities, sensitivity to heat, and highly tuned senses, if not even psychic abilities.
I mean, some people even go as far to say as like superhuman abilities, and you know, oftentimes their blood pressure can either be on the extreme low end or the extreme high end is what we find typically with people like that. It's never exactly right at that normal area where your blood pressure, you know, where most of our blood pressure levels should be. So it's interesting that they have these slight, you know, biological differences from us, and they all of the people that are Rh negative are very similar when it comes to these different characteristics.
Yeah, but the ultimate theory is that aliens came down and did things with the humans, and they had alien babies. Aliens aren't how we think they look, so they wouldn't look super weird and they'll blend in to society. This stands out a lot to me for a few reasons. There's a lot of coincidences that make this even more mind-boggling. So here's more fun facts. Negative blood types are a trait of the British royal family. Also too, most of the US presidents have a negative blood type. Even weirder, most of the US presidents are related.
Two books though. Who knew? You and Dick Cheney cousins?
You know, listen, I don't think I'm going to the family reunion. I don't know how I'll be greeted. But no, you know, these folks have been doing all these genealogies on me, and
Right.
you know, they've found all sorts of strange connections.
This has got to be what did you make of that story? For those who don't know this, so Lynn Cheney, the vice president's wife, has been doing some genealogy connected to her latest book, and lo and behold, way back, 8 generations ago,
8 generations or
you
something.
and Mr. Cheney apparently have some distant relative. And what did you make of that story when it came?
You know, I actually knew about it because somebody had done some genealogy before, and they had sent it to me, this long sheet, and had all these famous names, Mark Twain and this and that and the other, and then Dick Cheney, and I took a pause.
11-year-old Bridgette Davigno says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
No, they are all cousins, and they're grandsons of John Lackland.
Davigno says she spent countless hours on the internet over the summer researching the lineage of our presidents, a project that started with her trying to trace her own family tree.
But I'm the first historian to do all the presidents. I'm very glad I got this done, and I think it will turn out to be a success.
The Monte Vista Christian 7th grader has written President Obama to tell him the presidents before him are his cousins. She hopes to present this family tree chart personally to the president. But Bridgette has her skeptics, including this reporter. Her biggest supporter and firm believer that Obama is a descendant of a former king of England is no doubt her mother.
If you have a child, and they 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 have a child,
Like names change.
all she's saying is this guy is the great, 25th, 27th, depending on what line it is. He created all this family. So do I believe it? Yes. It's hard, but it's true.
Well, Mom said it. Hard to believe, but you got to give the little girl an A+ for at least trying to do that and trying to accomplish that feat. And by the way, Bridgette has concluded she's the 11th cousin of President Obama. Dan, Aaron.
All right, very good. Thank you, Felix. So who is the one that President Barack Obama is not related to, according to the 7th grader? Martin Van Buren, 8th President of the United States, first U.S. president born in the U.S. Van Buren was a widowed farmer and tavern keeper from New York who helped form the Democratic Party. He served 1 term as president. His ancestry is Dutch, and according to the Salinas 7th grader, all of the other presidents are of English ancestry.
So, that's just weird. How can everybody still be related? This is not science, this is conspiracy, but still. All in all, if anything, everyone is actually different and has different needs. Your blood is vital for you to be alive. Your body, depending on your blood type, you need different vitamins and nutrients. It's so interesting and fascinating. Just like this sticky substance you think is just hanging out in your body. No. Now with technology, people are able to have databases just of DNA. Yeah, I'm recording this late, so I hope I made you guys maybe smile or learn something new today, and that's all I can ask for. Hang in there, y'all. Eat your vitamins and minerals, kids. Okay, bye.